Hey everybody, this is Deanna White, and I'm going to tell you how I came up with my idea for Pre-Challenge number 2, Season 4. Fashion. I've always had a passion for fashion, and that is what brought me to my idea. I got my degree in fashion design a few years ago, and here is some of my work from school. Here are some of my designs that I sketched out while I was in school, and here is a jacket that I made from my tailoring class. It was extremely difficult. It is a layering effect with denim, tulle, organza, and feathers sewn inside. Here's a simple model of a store that I made while I was in school, showing the color palettes and design choices that I'd like. Many people don't know I have my degree in fashion, and I also received a scholarship while I was in my second year. Here is me getting started on my nails. I started with my gel polish color in green, and then I top coated. And now I am adding details with yellow acrylic paint and a stylus. The lines I did with a very small detailing brush and acrylic paint as well. Viewer discretion advised. Here is my naked Barbie that I wrapped with saran wrap and coated with gel. She's now getting a tan in the light, and now I am removing the saran wrap to reveal her gel mold that I created for my dress form. Now I'm getting to work on my pattern piece. I drew it out on the back side of form paper, and then I flipped it over to the waxy side, and now I am painting liquid gel paint to create the shape. I'm now giving it a little trim to even out the edges and really give it those crisp lines and that paper feel. Moving on to my tomato pin cushion, I dip an eyedropper in some gel and remove the excess. Then I cure it, making sure to spin it in the light so it all doesn't run to one side. I then cleanse the gel dispersion layer, and now I'm carefully removing it off the eyedropper, and I have a nice little round shape. I do that twice to create a top and a bottom, and now I'm sealing it with gel. Now I am painting it with a red gel color. Moving on to my spool of thread and my needle. Again, I draw it on the back side of a form paper, then flip it to the waxy side, and now I start painting over my design with liquid gel paint. Moving on, I wipe off that dispersion layer and I start assembling my spool of thread. I roll up that rectangle into a nice cylinder and I glue it to the little circle to create a bottom. I do that again to create a top. Now I'm starting on my needle, painting a really thin layer and curing that as well. Scissor time. I paint the whole thing with a metallizer gel, and while that's curing, I move on to the next step, which is creating a larger rectangle of clear gel. I cure that clear gel and then paint it white. I then lay it down on my cutting mat, and using a ruler and an X-Acto knife, I cut nice, neat little strips. Making the size wheels for my dress form, I created little circles out of acrylic, and now I'm just adding small rectangles on top for the dials. While that's hardening, I'm gluing down the white stripes on my dress form. Now for some finishing tomato touches. I am making the leaves out of acrylic, sculpting them directly on top of the tomato. The measuring tape, I start sculpting it onto my eyedropper, again curing each small section in between, and while that's curing, jump over to some buttons, making a bead of acrylic and pressing a pencil into it. I do the finishing touches on some of the smaller details and start piecing everything together on my nail. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you love it. I had so much fun creating it. It was a lot of work, but I'm really happy with the results. That's why you should keep this girl in the competition if you like my work and would like to see more of it.